Not many people know this, but right around the time when France and the United Kingdom were trying to conquer the whole world in the name of colonialism, Italy as well was trying to get some colony of its own. And that's how Italy, between 1934 and 1943, was a bit bigger than how we know Italy today, as Tripoli and Libya, where we are now, used to be part of the Kingdom of Italy. Not much is left from the Italian heritage here in Libya. Italy officially left the northern shore of Africa in 1943, even though Italian families stayed here in Libya until the early 70s, when Gaddafi came to power and he pretty much kicked out all non-Arabs from the country of Libya, which is obviously now in a state of political instability due to all the wars and different conflicts that have ravaged the country in the past 15 years. But there's still something left, like for example this fascist Catholic church that is still here in the center of Tripoli, and the main goal for today's video will be to try and see if we can still meet some representatives of the older generation to try and see if they still speak some Italian. So let's go and join me on this ethno-linguistic exploratory research of Libya. It was in 1911 that we Italians first crossed the Mediterranean Sea to occupy the Libyan coast. I mean, the first time ever was back 2,000 years ago with the Romans, but if we are talking about the modern times, it was definitely in 1911, after the war between Italy and the Ottoman Empire, that Tripoli, Benghazi and the coastal shores of Libya fell under Italian occupation. It wasn't until 1934, however, when the good old Benito Mussolini, very old but not so good, decided to occupy Libya once and for all and make it almost 100% part of a fascist Italy. Italy then governed Libya until 1943, basically, when it was defeated by the British in battles that were part of the North African campaign and that were fought under the scorching sun of Libya. And by the way, the sun in Libya now was just as scorching as it was back 80 years ago, if not even more so. So that's why I started my linguistic adventure fairly early into the day on my mission to find Italian speakers. Speak Italian? No, why not? Targa, you know targa? Targa, macchina. Gomma, gomma, you speak Italian. Yeah. Cugina, bambino.
Bambino,
Nice one. But I already knew coming into Libya that it wasn't going to be amongst the youth that I would find speakers of the Italian language. For that, I would have to rely on people who would have studied Italian in Libyan schools in the 1940s. We've made it now to the very center of Tripoli. The sun has risen up all the way to the very top of the sky, and at the same time the number of people that is around has decreased quite a lot because of the temperature. But look at it. I came here because, I mean, this place looks even more Italian than before. You've got this little square right here. Looks like we're right in the middle of some weird...
How are you?
Salam alaikum, I'm doing good. How about you? Oh, they even speak English. Amazing. You've got a nice little square here, and most importantly, you've got a church. The second church of Tripoli. There's two churches that were built during the Italian period here in Tripoli. We saw the first one at the beginning of this video, and we've got the second one right here. Look at it. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum. Where are you from? Nigeria. Oh, Lagos. Oh yeah, I know geography. I think this church is named after the Holy Mary, because at the top there's a random pigeon, but I think I can still read Beatissime Vergine Marie Angelorum Vergine, or something like that. Wow, the Italian churches of Tripoli. Ooh, I almost tripped over that thing. Open?
No,
it's not open.
It's not open.
Oh, Does it open anytime or?
Yeah, anytime from now you can be open.
Ah, okay, it's gonna open anytime now?
Yeah.
Oh, for church? For mass?
For church, it's
pray?
only Friday.
Ah, only Fridays.
Yeah.
So are you guys Christians?
Yeah, we are Christians.
Oh, so that's why you're here.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. And is there a priest?
Yeah, there is priest, but now it's not around now.
Ah, where is the priest from?
Now, I don't know. Maybe it's from Rome, I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, maybe it's from Rome.
Yeah.
And indeed, I mean, if it wasn't for the palm trees that nowadays are becoming more and more common in Italy as well, you would definitely say that this is someplace somewhere in Sicily or Calabria. Look at what we've got even. We've got Banca di Roma, the Bank of Rome. And it says here that the building was originally constructed in 1907, but it was used by Bank of Rome as a branch of the central bank in Italy after the Italians came here to conquer Libya. And look at what we've got, aiming to find an excuse to colonize Libya. This is interesting. And right next to Banca di Roma, oh my god, this is fucking amazing. You've got La Signora Maria. There's this cafe that is named Il Caffè della Signora Maria, just like any other Italian bar. And you've even got these things which I thought these were Juventus flags, like, you know, one of the most popular football clubs in Italy, because this definitely did look like the old logo of Juventus. You've got one flag here and you've got a second one there, but then it doesn't actually say Juventus, it says something in Arabic. But this is just something straight out of Italy, right? Let's go and have some cappuccino. Let's go and have some proper Italian breakfast, shall we? And I was indeed going to have breakfast like an Italian, like a true Italian. I would go and try and have some sweets. I was craving for some pastry, maybe some croissant. Salam alaikum. Cappuccino and do you have brioche? Brioche? No brioche? The goal that we had in mind was almost taking me back to the early 1980s when I was 10 years old and I was wasting my afternoons away playing Pokemon Leaf Green. Just like we would do in Kanto, in Tripoli as well, we would need to speak to as many NPCs as possible to maximize our chances of finding Italian speakers. Thank you so much. No one speaks Italian here? No Italian? No. Oh. Oh, this is an old Italian radio. Radio Marelli. Well, the most Italian vlog that we've ever made in the history of our channel, we're making it in Tripoli, just a few hundred kilometers south to the southernmost points of Sicily, probably. Look at this, we're having our breakfast at La Signora Maria. We've got some water, we've got some pastry, just as you usually do in Italy, and most importantly, we've got ourselves some cappuccino. It's still 11 a.m., it's not past 12 p.m., so we still can have some cappuccino, and most importantly, look at how nice this cappuccino is. It's in a ceramic cup. Amazing. And look at the view. Look at the amazing view over one of the most important squares of Tripoli. And just like any other Italian Sunday, we're waiting for lunch. We're waiting for Formula 1 to start at 2 p.m. and then in the evening we'll watch some football and we'll go to our grandmother's to have some pizza. Just like any other typical Italian Sunday. Dang, some more Italian structure. These are the portici, these arches right here, which are very helpful in giving us shelter from the heat. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Bologna, which is where the Bolognese sauce comes from, in the heart of Italy, but you've got constructions like this where people can walk under basically and they can find the shelter from the elements, from the rain in winter, or it's not the easiest thing crossing the road here in Libya. And people can find a shelter under places like this from the heat, from the rain, from the snow, from hail even. I don't think it hails much. Assalamu alaikum. I don't think it hails much here in Libya, but still. And don't get me wrong, it was cool and all from a historical perspective, seeing all the buildings that were erected at the time of when Libya was under Italian occupation. But I wanted to be looking more for people, you know, rather than buildings. Of you?
Yeah,
together. Oh, okay. I'm filming it. This looks like Italy.
Yes.
Right? Do you speak Italian? Parli italiano? No, but you're Libyans.
Photo.
Photo.
Vlog. YouTube.
Vlog, yes. I'm showing how beautiful Libya is.
Thank you.
Okay, you're all Libyans.
Yes, Libya.
Viva la Libya!
Viva Libya! Libya Italia!
Grazie. Viva
Dolce
Italia.
Gabbana!
Oh man, you're more Italian than me. You even look Italian.
Yes, great.
Alright, thank you so much guys. Bye. Salam alaikum. But I kept walking and walking desperately, even passing by some spots where loads of people were curiously queuing up, which I would later find out to be in front of just normal ATMs, but still, not a single Italian speaker on site. For now. You speak Italian?
No, speak English.
Oh, you speak English? That's
Yes.
nice. I'm looking for people who
I am
speak
from
Italian.
Libya. My name is Safe.
Oh,
Libya.
Safe?
Yes.
Davide, nice to meet you.
What?
Davide.
Davide?
Like David.
Gaddafi?
Yeah, but
Yes,
I really like it here. Libya is awesome. I like it so much.
What's your name?
Davide.
Davide.
Yeah, and I'm
Yes.
from Italy.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Italia, me. Italia.
You want to go to Italy?
Yes.
Oh, and I want to move to Libya. Libya is better.
Welcome to Libya.
Whoa! Almost got attacked by pigeons. There's loads of pigeons. It feels like you're in Venice now. This definitely does feel like Italy. You saw a lot of people on the other side of the street who were queuing up. They were queuing up to get into the bank because Libya is pretty much a cash society, so much that in order to get into the country, I had to bring around 2,000 euros in cash with me. Also because I needed to pay the tourist agency that provided me with the security escort. I'm now by myself walking around the streets of Tripoli because I've eluded security, but you're not really supposed to be walking around by yourself here in Libya. So I was having so much money in the backpack on the plane to Tripoli, I felt like a drug lord. And this is why for the 2-3 functioning banks that you can find all over the country, usually have a lot of people standing outside of these banks trying helplessly to retrieve and withdraw some money from I don't even know which accounts. This is, by the way, the main square of Tripoli. You've got a medieval castle to the left, you've got the two largest flags of the country, and you've got an Italian building to the back of the square, and you've also got an Italian building to the right side as well. Wow, I was walking the narrow streets of Tripoli and look at what I found. Casa Morischi. It doesn't get any more Italian than that, right? Restaurant and gallery. And it also says here the Morisco House. So this looks to be a proper Italian restaurant in the center of the old town of Tripoli. Again, Casa Morischi, old city Tripoli. I don't think it's run by Italians at all. Oh. All these motorbikes running around the narrow streets of Tripoli. I don't think it's run by Italians at all, but it might be interesting to go and have a look if there's anything interesting that we can find. Man, I've just infiltrated this place in central Tripoli just because the name was interesting, Casa Morischi. And no one is really paying any attention to me, and I have to say I like it so much. This is like an art exhibit. This is like an exhibit of the old times of colonial Libya, even though you've got these paintings right here that are depicting not so much Italian Libya, but the Libya that we all know and love, Arabian Libya. Even though, oh my God, what we have here is a suitcase that is full of Italian documents, it seems like. This is insane. Municipio di Tripoli, like town administration. There are some people now in this room. Hopefully they don't mind me doing my filming. They're not even paying any attention to me. What is going on? Let's continue. Town Hall of Tripoli. And this looks to be some sort of like population census, as it says that this dude, Davidian Giovanni, born in Malta, that's interesting, born in Malta in 1911. I don't even know what the political status of Malta was back in 1911, but pretty much this dude, after being born in Malta, he was registered in the population census of Tripoli on the 1st of February 1928, almost 100 years ago. And it's cool because you've got the double translation, so you've got it both in Italian and both in Arabic. And it's also very interesting to remark that this is dated 1967. So I think what was happening here is that these documents are not dated necessarily back to the times of Italian Libya, but rather lots of Italian families stayed after the end of World War II here in Libya, and most official documents apparently were both in Arabic and in Italian. And I can also see that because if I look at Gazzetta della Tripolitania, this looks like it's some sort of official document about some new laws that were being taken here in Libya, and this is dated 1956. You also got a fine, you've got a ticket, verbale di contravvenzione. There's this dude, Berrejube Ahmed. Berrejube sounds like a very Italian last name, and this dude was fined, do we know how much? Not really, right? Unless it says in the back. No, because you've got the Arabic once again in the back, but basically it's saying that this dude was having his business without having the right paper. Ooh, bureaucracy. Was passing by and I was having a lot of fun in Libya, but I was still struggling to meet some speakers of the noble Romance language that I am a native speaker of. Dang, that was random as hell. I went in, I went out, no one asked me anything. We saw a bunch of random, Assalamu alaikum. We saw a bunch of random Italian, Arabic, bilingual documents, and that was it. Only pity is we still haven't found anyone who spoke the Italian idiom over there. The lingo, the Italian lingo. All I kept finding was just some random people that just knew the bad words that everyone knows, or just some other renowned Italian expressions.
Oh, italiano!
Yeah.
Forza, Yuffie!
And just to break the monotony of this mission on Libyan soil, I dedicated myself to a short side quest. If I wasn't going to find Italian speakers amongst the living, I decided to go looking for them amongst the dead. So I've just made it to this memorial in an area of Tripoli where I couldn't really hang around by myself. So I just had to give a call to the tourist agency just because I knew from this place, because I read about it online. And I'm now with security. I've got a few people who are now waiting for me at the entrance to this memorial, which is actually a cemetery of, I thought it was going to be Italian soldiers as well as British ones, but yeah, it looks like for the most part these are people who've perished in the battle of 1943. You can see the Christian cross over there, and you can see a few British Royal Army names. W.B. Wilson, Royal Army Service Corps, died in 1944. There you go, it's very well kept, I have to say. It's a place that I didn't really expect to find here in Tripoli, but looks like you've got some more soldiers and some more of these coffins too. I don't think it's just soldiers from Great Britain, it's soldiers from all over the British Empire. Ghulam Shah from Bengali. Apparently on the outskirts of Tripoli there's a cemetery which has a section that is maintained and paid for by the British Embassy to host the graves of British soldiers who fell in Libya. But there's also another section within the same cemetery which is not as well maintained, if I have to say, which hosts the tombs of Italian people. The majority of these people were people who may have been born in Libya to Italian families, but surely these were people who died in the country. The reason why this part of the cemetery wasn't as well kept was because the remnants of the bodies of these Italian people after some time were taken back to Italy, so these graves were sitting there just empty, although they were very interesting to look at. There was also an Italian grandma who was born in Milan in the 1920s, but who died in Tripoli in the early 2000s, and I wonder what her story was. But after this bit, the time had come to finally go back to the living and set the day straight with one final plot twist, which I hope that you're all ready for. Wow, look, there's even Italian motorbikes with this Vespa. What we can find is people speaking proper Italian, but I've decided that I'm going to give it one last try. Some people told me that this might be the right place to be if you want to hear some people speaking Italian, apart from myself. So let's give it one last try. Let's go in. This was the all-in moment. This was the equivalent of overtime on a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. The fate of this video was going to be decided there and now. I didn't want to look too sus, so I went inside the souvenir shop with an excuse.
Lei parlava italiano, vero?
Sì, prego.
Prego, mi hanno detto che ha francobolli di Gheddafi.
I obviously couldn't give a crap about Gaddafi stamps, but what I really cared about was the fact that I went inside, spoke Italian, and the old man seemed to have understood me, and he replied to me in Italian too.
E lei come mai parla l'italiano, mi ricorda? Perché ha studiato a scuola?
Sì.
Sì, ha studiato l'italiano a scuola.
Prima io ho visto la scuola italiana.
Oh, wow. E c'erano...
Tanti anni fa.
Mhm. E c'erano tanti italiani,
Sì,
vero?
sì, io qui
Ah. Poi con Gheddafi, tutti via.
sì.
Yoo-hoo! Another mission successfully brought to conclusion. And it wasn't just me being extremely excited about the outcome. The owner of the shop was quite excited too.
Ah. Vuoi che scrivo qualcosa?
Sì.
Ah, cosa vuoi che scrivo? Quello che voglio. In italiano?
In italiano.
Ok, allora scrivo il mio nome, va bene? Dave...
Come la vuoi?
Come voglio, va bene. Dave Leggenda è stato qui in cerca di italiani. Viva la Libia. Scrivo viva la Libia.
Grazie.
Vero?
Come vuoi.
Perfetto. Lei come si chiama?
Mukhtar.
Mukhtar? Ok, Davide, molto piacere. Mukhtar. E invece ai tempi degli italiani qua i libici avevano nomi italiani? No, sempre nomi arabi. Mukhtar. Sempre nome arabo. Oh, ok, è così. È così interessante. Il problema è che qui venire è difficile. Serve il visto. Però c'è un volo da Roma. C'è un volo Roma-Tripoli. Dopo vabbè c'è Istanbul, Cairo, Tunisia. E magari in passato c'erano tanti voli. Tripoli-Roma.
Tripoli
Milano.
Milano.
Sì, c'era un volo Tripoli-Milano.
Tripoli-Palermo.
Tripoli-Palermo.
Sì.
Magari c'erano anche traghetti, barche, navi.
Prima c'è una grossa porta.
No, adesso è difficile, capisco. Beh, io spero che diventerà più facile. E molti italiani possono venire.
I would have spent hours talking to this very nice old man about Libya and everything, but I needed to retreat back to the hotel. I was very happy to have had the chance to learn a lot about Libya, about the history and the past of Libya, and I did it with my own eyes, without having to rely on books or some other sort of media that often seem to offer only a distorted view of reality.
Thank you so much. Bye. Viva la Libia. Tanti saluti. Ciao.
And it was very cool to study Italian colonization in this way. Colonialism is obviously bad, but it's also a very interesting subject to study and to look at from a linguistic and from a anthropological perspective as well. But we mustn't forget that the sole reason why we find it interesting now is because it's historical now, and it's all in the past, at least as far as Italy is concerned. And we've all moved on from colonization, in a way, but only to a certain extent. With that, thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, thank you, bye!